Welcome back to another episode of a Wanderer's Way podcast. I'm your host, Dustin. Today we're going to talk about which is better, physical or digital games. So the perspective of collecting either physical copies or digital copies of video games, it depends on the person, and there's many variables. So a lot of people will claim that digital copies versus physical copies, their biggest choice is depending on what's cheaper, which has more sales. And a lot of people try to claim that it's physical, which in reality, when you look at everything, it is digital copies that are actually the cheapest in the long run. They always sales, especially if you're on Steam. Right there, that's a digital copy of a game, and there's always massive sales all the time, all year long. When I had my Xbox, always sales all the time. And the same games that are $60 over at GameStop and other stores are on sale for 30 to 60% off all the time on Xbox. And then same thing with Nintendo. The only games that are never on sale are usually the Pokemon games. Everything else I've gotten way cheaper. Now, on the other spectrum, digital games are actually takes up more space. Especially on Nintendo, I've noticed a huge difference. Like, it's not just like this little bit, it's massive difference. So, best one to see is the Super Smash Bros, for example. If you get the digital copy and you put it on there, it's like it takes up 3 point some odd gigs. Now, I have the digital copy. It is 17 gigabytes. So that could also be a side of which path you actually take. But let's go even further on this. Physical copies. Why would anyone want to collect a physical copy? Well, you'd have to be a collector. Now, I'm a collector, but I draw a line at certain things. So not everyone's the same way. So for me, if I'm collecting a digital copy of something, that's mainly because it's simple, it's easy, and I don't really care about the game itself. I don't find value. Now, for collecting physical copies, I find the value in it. And it's not just because I want it to sell it, it's something I want to hold on to because of the value, or something I really, truly love. So, for example, I will not buy a physical copy of a new modernized game. I just don't find sense. Now, if it's something from Japan, I will. That's a whole different ballgame for me. If it's anything from Japan, anything, I'm saving it. But when it comes to physical copies, it's usually going to be the PS2 era and before is when I actually will collect them. It's something about that old pastime. All these modern games, I'm not going to collect them. It's just a waste of time to me. And besides, every game that I buy are always on sale and always cheaper digitally. And you don't really find those sales for those games that I buy physically, except for Pokemon, like I said. And now all I have is a Nintendo Switch. I got rid of everything else because everything was just boring me. Everything was just boring. So I just stuck to the Switch. But the main reason that most people would actually take up the physical copy isn't because of sales or anything. It's because of being a collector. So, as I said, for me, I only collect if it's like PS2 era and before. Others, they collect to collect. I do that with a lot of other things. I just don't do it with video games. I'm just kind of weird like that. But I know a lot of other people. One of my best friends, Theo, he's not a big fan of digital. He likes to collect. He wants it there in pristine condition and everything. And I don't see anything wrong with that at all. It's just not me. Now, I'll collect every single copy that I can find of The Legend of Dragoon. Like, every time I see it somewhere, and, it's not overpriced, or someone is not smart enough to price it up high enough, I'm buying it. And I bring it home and collect it. And it's just something that I like. I'll always have a copy that I play. I always have the rest just to collect. So for me, it's more of something that I treasure. Just because something has high value, or say, maybe I have something that is worth $10 million. I'm not going to hold on to it. It's just not, for me, I have to have a reason. And money is not my reason. Now, some things are. When it comes to cards, that is my thing, because I really don't collect cards just to collect them. They are for the profit and the value, but also to have them too. But most things that I actually collect are usually for the whole sole purpose of just having it and displaying it. It's just, I don't know what it is. It's a rewarding feeling as a collector. So I can kind of understand how others feel, like they have this whole entire case filled of their video games. Me, I would rather showcase something, say, Legend Dragoon, Final Fantasy VII, the original cases, so on and so forth, and Super Nintendo console or something like that. Like, that's the kind of more things that I enjoy. Anything from PS3 and up, it's just a waste of time for me. I just don't find value for me. Not saying that there's nothing valuable, because obviously there are. But there's just nothing there that I have value in, if that makes sense. But which is really better, though? As I said, there's too many variables to really say you gotta go this way or this way. It all depends on who you are. And like I said, for me, I'm a digital guy unless it's PS2 and before, and then it's physical. But for all modern games, I'm not buying anything physical. It's just a waste of space, in my opinion. It's just not worth it. Now, if I find something that I truly enjoy and I'm addicted to and I'm playing 500 plus hours for, yeah, after I buy that digital game, I will go out and actually buy the physical game, because it's so addicting, or something that I crave and enjoy and love. Outside of that, though, there's just no reason for me to collect. I just don't find it. I don't look at it going, man, that's a beautiful piece to display. Unlike my autographed gold card of Aaron Rodgers, already rated 10, mint condition. Now that's something I would display. I would love to put that right here on my wall. I'm just waiting for, the display case stuff to come in so I can actually put it on my wall and display it. Now I'm also getting display cases for my Pokemon cards too, my very expensive ones. There's ones that aren't very expensive that I absolutely love. For example, my favorite Pokemon, which is Typhlosion. Yes, you guys know which Pokemon I'm picking for the new game. And Blaziken, of course, as well, just because I don't know what it is, but I love Blaziken. And Espeon and so on and so forth. So, like, those are ones I would love just to put in a display case because it looks cool. It makes me happy that I have it. And that's kind of how I feel about physical copies of video games. I have to have a reason, a sole purpose to why I want it. As I said, if it's A Japanese only game and it comes straight from Japan? Oh, hell yeah. I might not even play it at all. I'll just collect it just to have it. Most of the time I'll play them, but the whole point is that if it comes from Japan, hell yeah, I'm taking it up. But what is your reason of holding on to a physical copy or only buying digital, or do you mix it up like I do? And I think it's a very intriguing thing to understand because everybody has a different view. And I've seen people online try arguing with me saying physical copies are always cheaper. So, maybe it's based on states. I don't know. Because I'm almost 33. I'll be 33 this Saturday. And I have never found a digital game that is cheaper than digital, or physical game that's cheaper than the digital. Every time when I compare the two, because, I always compare because depending on what it is. Very rarely do I ever find the physical game on sale, especially at GameStop. Now, there has been times I have. I'm not saying it never happens, but, it could be based on the fact that I buy different kind of games. Like say someone who buys Call of Duty, maybe they find it cheaper digitally or physically than I would digitally. But I don't play that game. In fact, I stopped playing all first-person shooters. They just got really boring and dull. I play JRPGs, simulation games, tycoon management-based games, and, well, obviously Pokemon. So, when it comes to simulation, all that kind of stuff, I'm always finding things cheaper and on sale digitally. So with that being said, I would love to hear your thoughts on which you prefer, which you think is better, digital or physical for video games. That being said, you guys have a wonderful week.